Hello, gentle viewers. This is Guardian welcoming you back to Out of the Park Baseball 23 with the Tampa Bay Rays. Excuse me. So, in our previous episode, we actually made it all the way to the World Series. And we got to Game 6 before we were defeated. So, a disappointing season, end of the season, but lest we forget, we achieved the World Series in one season. I know we didn't win, but we got there. And that's pretty awesome, especially since the team that did win is, well, the Rockies, who we just left. So in a way, I would have won either way. So now's the time to build on what we accomplished and do even better. Now, I'm not saying we're going to win more games. Winning 100 games is hard. We've got a lot of talented players. I'm not saying it's impossible, but that shouldn't be our focus. Our focus should be getting back to the playoffs and then hopefully doing more damage when we get there. What happened to my catcher? Oh wait, Jay Pierzynski, there he is. There's my beautiful boy. Alright. So let's take a look at arbitration and start talking about how we want to deal with the money that we have. Now, have I already signed? I need coaches, don't I? Alright. We have too many normal people. What I need is I need like 2 temperamental people. That should help balance out things. So let us get somebody temperamental, but is also like genuinely brilliant at development. I love Kurt Ford. I think he's got a lot to help us with, but I think this is the better group. I think this is the better guy. So, Mr. DeBar, I choose you. And then I'm just going to get the best damn scouting director that I can. I'm not going to worry too much about... Just not somebody normal, right? And what is your personality, Dave? I'm afraid I can't let you do that, Dave. I mean, I don't really care. Dave is clearly the best choice here. Like, I don't care if it makes people grumpy. I want the best possible scouting director, so we're going to bring him in. I need a hitting coach in Double-A, so we will quickly grab... Royce Clayton would be an excellent choice. But I'd rather grab Brian Schaus. Actually, I'd rather have Brian Schaus as a manager. But no, let's try to get him as a manager. Or as a hitting coach, rather. And then we'll go here. I want someone who's great at mechanics, because you want the lower guys to try to tap into things. Let's try to get Roger Slagle. I don't think we're going to. I think someone's going to outbid us on both of them, and that's fine if they do. Alright, so I can't trust ratings at this point because I don't have a scouting director. Fine. Yeah, I've got a fair bit of money, but I don't want to spend it just on a couple of play. I don't want to spend it on players that aren't all that great. Alright. So the first quandary is what do we do with Carlos Gomez? Carlos Gomez wants a fairly substantial raise for a player that is young, but isn't even that great a center fielder. I don't think he's a good expenditure. I'd actually like to trade him if I can. Because I've got a feeling somebody's going to look at him and want to pay extra for him. So let's just see what's on tap if we were to trade him. Third base is the position I would most like to fill if we can get a quality player for it. I mean, I don't hate Matt Holliday, but that's not really what I'm looking for. Here, let's narrow it down to third base. I mean, I could get Chase Headley, who definitely seems like he's a better player than Mark Reynolds. He's a pretty decent third baseman, good on base skills, a good bit of pop, and a decent overall hitter. Is there anybody even better? There is Jose Lopez. Yeah, but he's kind of a one-trick pony. We want to be varied in our offensive approach. I think Chase Headley is the guy to go with. I think he offers us a ready Mark Reynolds replacement while still offering us somebody who's fairly young and high value. Of course, it's Cleveland once again. My eternal pals. I wonder if I could get Ryan Sweeney too. Like, they're going to want to get rid of his contract, right? No, they really don't want to give up both. That's fine. I will do this trade here. Because Chase Headley is just that useful. Like, he's a great all-around player. Mark Reynolds ain't nothing, guys. Now I'm going to flip him for a center fielder if I can get one. We also need a shortstop. So center fielder, shortstop would really do us well. Let's just look at all batters and see who is up for grabs. Steven Drew is not a shortstop. I mean, Austin Jackson isn't a center fielder, though. I do like Edgar Renteria, but I don't like him for the amount of money that he's making. If I were to trade for Edgar Renteria, I would want them to eat a substantial portion of his salary. Maybe all of it. And even then, I would have definite second or third thoughts. Yeah, the issue is I'm not really finding any players that would be a great fit. I mean, yes, Shin-Soo Choo, sure, but where is he going to play? Is the question. Yeah, I don't see a lot of value in this, so I'm just going to trade him for any prospect. This is about getting rid of Mark Reynolds more than it is getting an amazing player. I'll take Austin Jackson, just because he's free. And he's at least a useful piece. Alright, so that's two people dealt with. Chase Headley really wants to get paid. I don't begrudge him that. So I'm gonna give him his arbitration year. And then we'll talk to him at the end of the season. Belisario and Storen both had pretty solid years for us. I have no objections to giving them each another year. Especially because each one of them just doesn't want a whole lot of money, and I appreciate that. I wouldn't mind bringing back Rocco Baldelli if the price was right. He wants to get paid starting money, and I don't think that's adequate. For call, again, I can't get into a big raise for you. Eric Abar is... Wait, what have you been offered? Wait, what? Oh, I did offer him a raise, didn't I? I could have gone for second base, too. I didn't think of that. Oh, well. Anybody else that's really worth keeping? Not really, other than maybe Andy Pettit. But I'm willing to dig in some other places to try to make that replacement. Let's advance time a bit. Let's see if we can hire some coaches. Sign some contract extensions. Roger Slagle was offered more money. What if I offered you $200,000? Brian Schaus wants more money. I will happily pay you $250,000. Yeah, I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to get involved in a bidding war for minor league coaches. You know what, my dude? I wish you well. I hope you do well. Yeah. In retrospect, I'm probably overpaying for Ibar. But it's a nice short-term contract, and it's not as likely to bite me in the ass as a lot of other deals would. Brilliant. Okay, we're up to unhappy. Now, conversely, losing Boyington will actually help a lot. Because he's one of the ones that's really pissy. So if I can find a good personality fit, I think we'll go far. Alright. A gold glove for AJ Pierzynski. Very nice. Very nice work. And just give me a really good hitting coach. Aurelio Rodriguez, you seem like a great choice. Hall of Fame voting. Brilliant. Who from Tampa? Oh, Matt Kemp. Ended up getting a Silver Slugger. As did Albert Pujols, naturally. Oh, this version of Carlos Santana is still catching. That's extremely impressive. He is always one of my favorite Guardians. He's a really tremendous player. He's not remotely Hall of Fame worthy, but still a very, very good player, and one that I enjoyed watching quite a bit. I'm gonna vote for Carlos. Hey, Jeff Cirillo, I mean, no. Will Clark, yes. Juan Gonzalez, yes. I mean, 3,646 home runs seems pretty good. I'm gonna stretch that far in my assessment that it seems reasonably good. I will vote for Juan Guzman and Tony Gwynn, I suppose. And Ken Griffey Jr. I'll go with Charles Johnson because getting this much WAR as a catcher is not easy, especially as a really good defensive catcher. I also think real life Charles Johnson is kind of underrated. Again, not a Hall of Famer, but still very good. I will vote for Chris Nabholz and Mike Messina, both of whom seem very deserving. Tim Raines, is it a waste of time? Yes, but it's not going to stop me. John Smiley, Bill Spires, both deserve it. Larry Walker with his 3,000 hits and 600 home runs. That seems pretty good. So there's a real good chance that we're going to get 3 people in the Hall of Fame for sure, and Juan Gonzalez, Will Clark, and Larry Walker. Beyond that, I'm not quite sure. I am not quite sure. Brilliant. Congratulations. I wish you well in your new role. I need somebody temperamental or temperamental, I think, is the operative word. Yeah, let's grab Angel Reyes here. He seems like a good one. Oh, why thank you. I'm not surprised, but I'm still happy about it. And an MVP for Robert Pujols. Never in doubt, guys. Never in doubt. Matt Kemp, though, did come in third. That's extremely impressive. We've got a really good team. It's just a question of finding those extra couple of contributors who can take us over the top. Like Sir Topham Hatt. I've seen like 3 episodes in my entire life of that show, and yet. Cool. Okay, so what do we actually need? I need a starting shortstop. I need a designated hitter. I need a center fielder. Wait, why do I not have... No, shortstop, DH, and center field. I also need at least 1 starting pitcher, maybe 2. Like, I have no problem with Jake Peavy getting one of those spots, but I do think we need more. And I just need depth. So let's take a look. I have presently $28 million to sign a quality player or 2. All right, let's start by considering shortstop. Or center field, really, but I think shortstop is... Luis Matos' defense and nothing else. That's not worth $12 million to me. Are you actually joking that Rafael Furcal might be the best choice? Are you having a laugh at my expense? Someone actually good at defense, please. I'm not going to pay that much money for Juan Uribe. That's for damn sure. Like, I get why people like J.J. Hardy because he's got great power and a pretty good glove. But Furcal is both cheaper and a little bit more reliable, I think I'm going to offer him a deal. Just maybe not for 5 years. 3 years seems reasonable, though. I'll do that. So that's one spot. I do not need center field who's actually good at... There you go. No, Tavares has range, but nothing else. Didn't I have Carlos Beltran at one point in this game, or not? Oh, that's interesting. I think with Toronto, I signed into a minor league deal. I was Toronto's manager in 2009, wasn't I? I was not. I don't think I ever did have Carlos Beltran. If I did, I don't remember it. Like, I was never the manager of most of these guys. Alright, so Carlos Beltran offers decent pop, some discipline, and a pretty good glove in center. Can anybody do better than him? If Randy Wynn could play in center, I would probably grab Randy Wynn. Matt Kemp can't play center at all, can he? Not very well. Okay. Yeah, I think Beltran would be a pretty solid choice for a 1 or 2 year deal. Let's make the second year a team option. And then I'll give you that offer. And then the last position I want to try to fill right now is I want to try to get at least one starter and possibly 2. But I'm not going to break the bank for either of them. Matt Morris, I know you're hardly anything special, but you do only cost me slightly over $1 million. I'm not going to give you a no trade clause, but I will guarantee you a starting rotation spot. Like, I like John Lester just fine. I'm just sorely unwilling to invest that much in a pitcher who doesn't seem to be all that amazing. Especially when I can just wait a little bit and then see how the starting pitching market settles. Okay. I would like one more outfielder. Somebody who's ideally got a bit of upside but won't cost me a huge amount. Let's look for batting ratings, and let's look at contact. No, that's too much for a reserve player. No, a guy like a Shane Victorino would be a pretty solid choice. But, again, he wants starter money. And I'm not going to give him starter money. That's a lot of money for a reserve. I'm hoping to spend like $1 to $2 million. What about Brad Hall, actually? I mean, for 4 million, he could be a DH, and I do need one of those too. So yes, let's get Hop tonight. And Lou Ford can't play center. Angel Pagan seems like a perfect extra dude. Got it. I love one starting pitcher, though. I think that's the biggest thing that we need. But we'll have to see. And don't forget, we have the draft, too, right? We also have the draft. Andres Mora is presently a AAA manager. I would love to give you an extension. I'm not ready to see you leave yet. Spoiler, this guy turns out to be pretty decent. I don't know why randomly the game decides he can't play defense at all, but yes. The Angry Hamster is quite the talented player. Alright. We're going to look at all players at all positions. Look at default, and we're going to look at the best potential. Okay. So the thing that I would love to have most is a starting pitcher. I don't think there is a good one, though. It depends on what you think of Kyle Gibson. Kyle Gibson is certainly fine. But he just doesn't seem like he's a great fit. What are we actually looking at in the starting pitcher market? Is he as good as it gets? He truly is. I gotta say, it doesn't overwhelm me, but he does at least whelm me. So I think we go ahead and grab him while we can. Jake Marisnik seems like an excellent choice as well. Get us a nice, versatile outfielder. Grab ourselves a knuckleballer. Who says no? I don't. I'm already at the part where we're into, like, average players. I'll just go ahead and let you do what you want. I mean, is Kyle Gibson the kind of player that's gonna change our fortunes forever? No. But I'll tell you what he is. He is a very competent pitcher that can at least offer us inexpensive innings for a few years. And that's worth quite a lot as well. That is worth a chunk of money. We're a very interesting kind of team because we have so many really great young players. Not Xavier Paul, anyway. Gabe the Babe Kapler. I mean, when you can acquire Tim Redding, you have to do it, right? It's mandatory. Or it's the opposite of that. Yeah, I don't want anybody in this draft. Damn, Ryan Howard got paid. Good for him. All right, let's just start chucking people onto the roster. Because, look, they're all going to make the roster. Hopefully that's fairly obvious. They all have a role to play on the 2013 Tampa Bay Rays. What else would I like? I would like a... Oh, I completely forgot about Pretlari. It just completely slipped my mind that I actually had a fairly decent third baseman who can't play short. Whoops. It's fine, though. Let us go ahead and try to acquire a really good defensive shortstop. I think that's the next veteran I would like to have. And all I care about is defense. It's our old friend Jacob Martin. Why has nobody offered you? Is it just your contract demands are just obscene? Yes, they are. They are extremely obscene. Look, a guy like Tomas De La Rosa isn't exactly amazing, but he is cheap. You can't argue with that logic. I have 11 pitchers. I would love at least 1 to 2 more. But not enough to really invest because I want to save some money for later upgrades. Jake Westbrook cost me literally nothing to sign, so I will give him a contract. Cause I can afford that. I'd love to bring in Andy Pettitte, but not for $19 million a year. I don't have that kind of money. So let's go by pitching ratings, and let's look at stuff. I can't afford Casimir. Let's not fool ourselves. Urban Santana might be closer to my price range. He might do okay in Tampa. So I will offer Mr. Santana a contract. I don't think that's going to do it. I don't really see a ton of benefit to adding a whole lot else. Yeah, well, I'm sorry you're bummed, but I wasn't going to pay $18 million a year for a 40-year-old starter. That just strikes me as a poor use of resources. Really? You didn't even try to sign with me. Unbelievable. I want my, one extra pitcher, please. Has Scott Kazmir just completely misread this market? He's not a terrible pitcher, and yet, nobody seems to want to sign him yet. Which I find very curious. Adam Eaton wants $2.4 million. I will offer him some money. Would you like some money, Adam Eaton? Are you pro money? Oh, golly. I just realized I didn't sign any of my players, did I? No, I did. I signed them all. I was like, Yeah, I panicked briefly there. Remember when I did that like a few seasons ago? I felt pretty stupid. Something happened. Oh, Adam Eaton is kind of pumped about being a Ray. As you should be. As you should be. I would like one more outfielder, if I'm honest with you, but I don't think we need one because I've got some youngsters that can get an opportunity. So it's going to kind of rock with that. So, my friends, Kyle Gibson, Michael Golf of Tonkin, Stephen Wright, Jake Marisnik, Angel Pagan, Tomas De La Rosa, Austin Jackson, Daniel Webb. You all get a chance for some playing time. That's just how we roll here in Tampa. We're equal opportunity for everyone. We're going to go 6-man rotation. There you go. And then we're going to do this. And interesting. You'd rather play Laurie, who is, I guess, at least like a really good third baseman, so I can't fault you for that. But why start Headley over Hop? Like, I'm not paying him $4 million not to get playing time, but at least for spring training, I don't really care. This lineup is laughable. Like, I don't want... Like, I guess for call hitting leadoff isn't the worst idea, because it does have at least pretty decent base running. But the thing is, he hasn't drawn walks at an elite level. I think he's very much a lower in the order kind of dude. We'll figure all this out, though. I'm not too worried about that. Let's do some training in the spring, shall we? I was really excited. This is a purpose of nothing, but I was really excited to see a few weeks ago that the Dodgers finally did the right thing and retired Fernando Valenzuela's number. And I get it. They're like, oh, but he didn't go into the Hall of Fame. But it's like, with all due respect, who gives a shit? Because, and let me make this perfectly clear, very few pitchers in the history of Los Angeles have meant more to the Dodgers than Valenzuela. It's I don't think any fan would dispute me too much on that. There are probably legions of kids who grew up in the 80s who became Dodgers fans because of Valenzuela, especially if they're Latino or from anywhere in Latin America, because it is that important. And when someone is that important to your club, even if they weren't statistically that great because they didn't pitch for very long because of injuries, you still got to do it, my dudes. I don't know why it was a thing that they had to wait as long as he did, but that's as maybe. Let's get down to sending some pitchers to the minors. So Rodriguez can go. I'm gonna let Kyle Gibson start in the minors to begin the season. Give him a chance to make some moves. Diekman can go. LeCure can go. The Gulf of Tonkin can go. Daniel Webb can go. We're down to 11. I do need one more player. One more reliever. That is, I will keep Tonkin. We're going to keep Tonkin and Wright. So you both make the opening day roster. Congratulations. I'm very proud of you. I got to get rid of 2 more position players. And unfortunately, I have to keep De La Rosa. I was going to do it anyway, but I don't have an opening day shortstop without him. So it's going to be 2 outfielders to go. Angel Pagan is washed. He just is. So the question is, do we keep Maurice Nick or do we keep Austin Jackson? And the thing is, it's probably got to be Austin Jackson. It is Austin Jackson, yes. Because Maurice Nick might someday be a better hitter than Jackson, but Jackson is the better hitter right now, and he has at least some talent defensively. So we're going to go ahead and keep him too. Yes. All right. Pitching-wise, my dudes, we're going to go to a 5-man rotation, which means eliminating Adam Eaton, which is fine. I don't mind that at all. Eaton can be like a big-time starter if we desperately need one. And I'm cool with that. I don't know if Belisario is the closer over Rosenthal or Storin, but I guess I don't care. Like, I really don't care. Because at the end of the day, what matters is that we have good pitchers that pitch in clutch time, not so much a fancy designated closer. Okay. Pitching is sorted. Now let's get the position players set up. Clear all the depth charts. Okay. It is painfully obvious that Albert Pujols is our best player and should therefore hit third. Or second, but we'll do third. I love Jason Hayward hitting second. And Matt Kemp hitting cleanup. So who leads off? Who else on the squad is somebody that hits well enough, consistently enough, to be the man? It could be Chase Headley here. Headley has got some pretty fair on-base percentages in his career. I think we'll go with that. Who hits fifth? This is very interesting. Like, Pierzynski is in the lineup somewhere. I don't know that he hits fifth, because he offers nothing other than hitting for average every now and again. I think we're going to try Beltran hitting fifth. Then Eric Ivar. Then Pierzynski. Okay, what if Chase Headley played third base and I bench Laurie? Because here's the thing. Brad Hawpe is a really good hitter. Like, he is extremely talented. And I think we're hurting the lineup if we play Lowry just for the defense only. Like, check out what happens if I can play Hawpe. Do you see how much more formidable that lineup looks? This gives me some of the best power hitters in a row, all of them playing at a very high level. Tomas De La Rosa gets to play shortstop because I literally have nobody else. And I generate a depth chart. I'm good with this. I think this lineup makes a ton of sense, and I think it offers us the best chance to win consistently. I kind of question the value of Mayberry, but not to a huge degree. I think Mayberry will do what Mayberry does. What I do like about this lineup is a couple of very specific things. First of all, we've got a lot of switch hitters. We have so many switch hitters that I very much doubt any team's going to have an easy time getting an advantage over us. We've also got a pretty solid bench. Now, once Furcal is healthy again, we're going to have to make a move of some kind. And I don't know what that move is yet. But I will make some sort of move there. Of that, you can be certain. Yeah, I don't think I need to belabor this. I think we just go ahead and we advance to opening day and then make some good decisions, hopefully. I don't think we're as good as last year's team, though. And I say that as we take a look at the opening day roster, recognizing that we basically have the same team. Understood. And in particular, that we're only going to be as good as Albert Pujols lets us be. Duly noted. Anthony Rendon stayed with the Washington Nationals in this timeline. That's cool. Garrett Cole, Jose Fernandez, Trevor Bauer. Those are all people, for sure. Oh, I know what I was going to do. I was going to go ahead and let the bench coach... You can have as a treat the minor league lineups. As a treat. I think you're overplaying A-Bar and Beltran, but whatever. I don't care that much. Let's play ball. Oh yeah, I forgot to turn that crap off. Sorry about that. How is the coaching staff doing? They're doing a lot better now. I could use some better coaches, but I'm happy just to have ones that get along for right now. Because the rest will take care of itself. Xavier Paul was returned to the Tampa Bay Rays. Not a shock. Not even half of a shock. Oof. Alright, so instantly I see a move that has to happen. Maybe it doesn't, actually. Like, as long as Matt Morris is still getting people out, I don't really feel rushed to kick him out of the rotation. I'm willing to let things go. And to be fair, our pitching is not really the big issue. The bullpen isn't amazing. A lot of our premium relievers really struggling this year. But it's really the lineup. We've gone from one of the best lineups in the majors to one of the worst, quite frankly. And this is like bringing back a substantial percentage of players from last season's team that was excellent. Now, do I think this is going to turn around on its own? Probably. In fact, nearly certainly. just because it's 1 month. I don't know why I stopped. We'll just keep going. Except for call, I definitely still need him. I'm gonna put Laurie in the minors so I can give for call back. He's just that good, guys. He's just that good. And for call, unlike other players I can name, can actually hit at shortstop and still be a good shortstop. And I very much appreciate that. Go ahead and regenerate this. Same here. And then just give me the depth chart. Brilliant. Oh, thank you to the commenter who pointed out that OOTP actually never had some of the international leagues they had in their previous games. So we're going to pick an international league. It's going to be the KBO, the Korean Baseball Organization. So just something to point out. It doesn't really affect me any, but just something to point out. Okay. How do we look now? We look better. Like it would be hard to look worse. And a couple of things are becoming immediately very painfully obvious. The first is that Chase Headley isn't that great a player. Is he better than Mark Reynolds? Yes. He's certainly better than Carlos Gomez, but the point remains. The fact is, every single one of our free agents have sort of blown up in our face. Brad Hopp is possibly the only exception, but I mean, Carlos Beltran isn't hitting. He's getting on base, he's hitting the occasional bomb, and he's stealing bases, but he's not getting on base. Eric Ibar, I don't know what I was thinking, guys. I genuinely don't know what possessed me to give him an extension. He didn't deserve it. Pierzynski's fine. And again, lest you forget, I'm not paying most of his salary. So I am more than happy to let AJ Pierzynski continue to play. But yeah, we got MVP out of Albert Pujols last year. We are not getting an MVP this year. At least I don't think so. I mean, it's always possible that he heats up here in the second half and really takes over the game. Because as Albert goes, so we go. All right. The bullpen is doing fine, other than Michael Tonkin, who isn't pitching all that frequently to begin with. Headley is the biggest issue. He truly is. He is an adequate defender at third, but he's not what we need him to be, which is an on-base machine. He's going to be a free agent at the end of the year. So I think this is the time to make a medium-sized move, which is trading Headley for another third baseman. I'm not picking Juan Uribe. I've already had Juan Uribe. I don't need another Juan Uribe. Jimmy Rollins doesn't do it for me. I love Scott Rowland, but I don't think so. Joel Cabrera can't really play third base. I mean, Andy LaRoche is fine, but I must just keep Brett Laurie in that scenario. Yeah. I may have goofed. I may have goofed when I acquired Headley. I think I have to take the bet that I've made for right now. Unless I'm gonna get somebody truly special, then maybe. Justin Masterson would be quite a nice pitcher for us to add. And he's fairly cheap too. Get Andy Pettit back. Get Ryan Howard from the Yankees. No, thank you. I don't need another first baseman, but thank you for the offer. Matt Lawton. I feel like trading Headley for a starting pitcher isn't a terrible decision, but I'm also not sure it's the right one either. Then again, I don't really see... Like, Doug Minkiewicz would be a very nice addition to this club in terms of what he brings in the bat. But if I trade Headley, I've got to get something of pretty significant value. I wouldn't hate Jonathan Lucroy, but that's not what I'm looking for either. Andy Pettit's too much, so is Scott Kazmir. Man, Justin Masterson isn't the most thrilling pitcher in history, but there's a lot to like about a fairly inexpensive pitcher, especially on a team that's got not a ton of young pitching. I mean, yes, okay, granted, we've got Lynn and we've got Lackey, but Lackey's already getting up there, so it's really just Lynn in terms of young pitching. Adding in a pitcher like him to replace, say, Matt Morris makes a lot of sense. I could get Mark Reynolds back. That would be fucking amazing. I would laugh my ass off if we did that. Just like fully acknowledge that I screwed up. Man, Kelly Johnson, if you could play third base, I'd pick you. Alas, you do not. And I guess, look, I could just call up Lowry and at least have a great defender, but then I don't know who leads off. Is there another player we could add? I mean, I'd love Carlos Santana. I'd fucking make him DH and just find someone else to take Hop off my hands. But yeah, that wasn't gonna happen here. I want to see if you'll eat any of his contract for me. Yeah, this is actually a really good deal. And yes, I know, Chase Headley is a young player. But this makes us a better club. I truly believe that. This makes us automatically a wonderful club. Then I slide Justin Matheson over for Matt Morris. And then I trade Matt Morris for possibly for a third baseman. There's actually a lot to like about Jason Bartlett. He's a really good defender, and I think he could be a pretty good option. Not necessarily as a starter, but definitely as a backup. So we'll do that. So Brett Lawrie comes back. Where'd he go? Oh, you jerk. Unbelievable game. Where's Bartlett? Here he is. Done. Is there an interesting third baseman that's still on the free agent market? I wonder. I wonder. I mean, Sean Figgins is an intriguing choice. I'd have him in Colorado, though. So let us first of all begin. I mean, Mark TM would actually be... Oh, he's not a third baseman. He just pretends to be one. Am I going Sean Figgins again? Has that been what the level that I'm reaching? Give me is at least 50. I'm gonna save this filter this time because I keep using it and then I keep forgetting that I have it. So save this filter or call it 3B defense. Save. Okay. So of this group, the only one that is even reasonably competent in hitting is Figgins. There is Mike Mesa. But the thing about Mike Mesa is you're relying very heavily on him getting lucky if you're expecting him to be a quality player. Sean Burrows wouldn't be a terrible choice, but I'd rather have Lawrie at that point. So who plays third base in the short term? I think it's probably De La Rosa just because he's a slightly better hitter. Slightly. Are there any good third basemen on the trade block, I wonder? And there is Scott Rowland, but I don't know. I mean, Martin Prado can hit. He's not a very good third baseman, but he can hit. Yeah, sorry, dudes. Like, literally none of these guys do much for me. Maybe Avila here? Didn't I have this guy before? I did. I had him with Colorado, and yeah, I don't think he's a great fit. Alright, so in the short term, I guess Furcal gets to lead off just because somebody has to. I mean, who else is going to lead off if not him? It's not going to be Ibar. It's got to be Furcal. So Furcal's going to lead off, and then De La Rosa's going to play third. And then you're going to generate me a new depth chart, and this is fine. I'm going to copy it. I'm going to copy it. I'm going to paste it and paste it. Here, you can do whatever you want. I don't really care. There wasn't like a really great shortstop on the market, was there? No. I think there's Julio Lugo, who's probably more useful to me than Eric Ibar. But I don't know what I would get for Ibar then. And let me be clear, I don't dislike Ibar. I think Ibar still offers us a fair bit of upside. So I think let's just stop the wheeling and dealing for right now. Give it a month to let things settle, and then see where we're at in July. Like, really, if Albert Pujols goes off, we're gonna be in great shape. That's final arbiter about whether we're all that good or not. Now, boy, Jake Marisnik playing center is not ideal, but it's better than Austin Jackson doing it because Austin Jackson is not very good defensively. Certainly not compared to Marisnik. So we're gonna try it. I hate everything about it, but we're gonna try it, and then we're gonna see where that gets us. Man. No, it's not an oversight. I genuinely don't want you back. I'd rather get a younger backup catcher, somebody who could really step forward and take us to the next level. Cool. You are angry. Well, you know what? I'm angry too. I'm grumpy as shit that we're not winning, but I don't know what you want me to do about it. Like, here's the thing. Our lineup is not good enough. It isn't. And we're being hamstrung by the fact that I can't acquire better hitters. And we're having issues with the bullpen too. Drew Storm probably needs a smaller role than he's got. And Michael Tonkin is clearly not ready for the big leagues, but that's not what's holding us back. What is holding us back is the lineup. In particular, it's our leadoff guy. We don't have a solid leadoff hitter. Now, yes, I could have Jason Hayward be the leadoff hitter. Duly noted. But we're not scoring runs. And I think we're relying too much on veteran hitters. I think something that will help us significantly is figuring out who can go. Like, which of our many players is not suitable to return. I wouldn't say no to bringing back Bartlett, especially for a relatively cheap contract. I'd consider that, but that's not the operative word right now. Let's go up to the trading deadline, I think. No, we'll go up to the All-Star break, but then we'll go up to the trading deadline, and then we'll talk about how we could maybe get better. I mean, you'll give me Jose Avila, but I'm not going to give... I don't want him that badly. Brad Hawpe would like to come back. Here's my problem with Brad Hawpe. As much as he's been useful, he is basically a slightly above league average DH. Surely that can't be hard to find. Surely that can't be a difficult position to replace. And so extending him just seems ludicrous to me. I don't think that's a smart use of my resources. It isn't. Alright, so who made the All-Star game? John Lackey made it. Albert Pujols made it. And Jason Hayward made it. 3 All-Stars for a team that's out of first place doesn't seem unrealistic to me. I think that's probably fine. Kyle Gibson is having a fine year. So that's one possible upgrade, right? Is Kyle Gibson takes over like Adam Eaton's spot on the roster. Maybe. We've got some damn fine young players. The problem is we also have some players that aren't so good, that are being overpaid. Alright, well, first things first, let's get up to the trading deadline, because I'm not going to make any moves until then. I don't want Brad Hand. Oh, do you know what I do want? I do want Brett Laurie back in the big leagues if he's available, which he is. De La Rosa, take a hike. Unless he'll be cool. He will not be cool. I will trade you for literally anything. Any position, as long as it's a prospect. J.J. Hoover, you're in. Brett Laurie comes back and he plays third base. Okay. And you know what? I will come to grips that he's probably the best third baseman that we're likely to get. And just kind of run with it. I'm just going to let things happen the way they have to happen and find other places to make upgrades. Right? Like, that's got to be the decision here. Now, what positions could we upgrade at? Center field and shortstop in particular seem like real areas of growth. If there are suitable people available, and I think that's going to be the challenge, is that, like, I don't even mind trading Cody Allen, but you're going to have to give me a good reason to trade him. Which you right now are not doing. Corey Lytle, no, that's not worth Cody Allen to me. Justin Verlander would like to come back. He's not even asking for that much money. So, I mean, if I wanted to make it happen, I could make it happen. But as you look at his career, right? He's had seasons that range between good and average. He's always been a strikeout pitcher, but his big issue is that he walks almost as many people as he strikes out. And the strikeouts this season are gone. Plus, he gets hit pretty hard. I don't see Justin Verlander being a part of our plans going forward. At least not this version of Justin Verlander. So one of the things that we need to do is figure out what to get for Justin Verlander. Because if I'm not going to bring him back, then Kyle Gibson is the right call. Like, Kyle Gibson just makes us a better club. So let's flip Justin Verlander. I guess I could have turned Verlander into a mega reliever, but I still don't think that's the best use of him. So I would like to look at your finest batsman, please. I said your finest batsman, sir. Sir, I'll have you know that the only batsman I would consider reasonably fine here. Oh, hi, Aramis Ramirez. I remember you. But no. This version of Aramis Ramirez is not really worthy of my investment. Alright, so Justin Verlander isn't going to get us much. Because he's not going to get as much, it just makes more sense to keep him, let him pitch out the rest of the year. All of a sudden, we do not believe in Cody Allen anymore. What's his deal? Oh, he lost a bunch of velocity. Then maybe now is the time to move on from Cody Allen. See what manner of players might be available. Okay, nobody really that great. Duly noted. Ah, well. Yeah, I'm looking at this. I guess I'll check the trade block next and see who might be around. I mean, okay, I would pee myself with joy if I could get Alex Rodriguez. I'd stick his ass at shortstop. I'd sign him to a new deal. It'd be great. What would you possibly cost me, though? Brett Lawrie? Look, Lawrie is more valuable to me than A-Rod is. But I like the idea. What if instead I offered you Justin Verlander? No, that is indeed a non-starter. I'm not giving any of the players you're asking for. It seems so short-sighted, though. To trade for a player I might not even be able to keep. He is really good, though. What about Eric Ibar? And what if I ate Ibar's salary? All of his salary. No. What if I offered you Ronald Belisario? No. I guess I could throw in PV. So we're saving money, What if I just offered you PV, actually? Because I'd actually rather keep Belisario if I can. Okay, PV really changes the game for you. You can have Omont as well. Okay, done. So, next step. Add Rodriguez to the roster. Whose spot is Alex Rodriguez taking? Is it Ibar or is it for call? Look, Rodriguez is just better than Ibar, right? He's just better. Which would mean somebody else needs to go to the minors. If we're going to turn... No, Ibar is too pricey. I could just send down John Mayberry. Let's do that. Then I can call up Kyle Gibson and let Adam Eaton... Or then I can do this and this. And call up Kyle Gibson. And then Kyle Gibson is the fifth starter. Alright. So now the question is, where does Alex Rodriguez play? 68. Let's compare you to Furcal, because Furcal actually is probably the most fungible, provided that A-Rod is at least as good defensively as Furcal. Which seems like pretty obvious to me, but maybe it's not. They're actually very comparable. Furcal's got better range but makes more errors. Has a better arm. No, it's pretty clearly A-Rod. So okay, so that means Furcal gets benched, which is fine. The question is, where do I actually bat Rodriguez then? And it seems fairly obvious to me. Hayward becomes the new leadoff guy. Right? Set position to shortstop, please. That's whatever. Okay, now let's generate a new depth chart here. And the same over here. Now, the next part of my cunning plan is offer Rodriguez substantial sums of cash to stay here. Which I think he will do. He is 38 years old. But maybe I can't afford him. We'll have to see. If I brought him back, I basically can't bring back any other free agent. Unless I can, like, trade somebody. Let's do a 3-year deal with the vesting option. And then this I will accept. Alright, so that's got all that set up. I need to get rid of Furcal now. Because he no longer serves a purpose. This is about getting rid of his salary, right? So any prospect of any kind, no, that's not going to get me anything. Veterans, really? Yeah, he's considered an overpaid veteran right now. I probably should not have re-signed him, but I didn't have a choice. It's fine. And let's just advance time and just roll with the punches here. Pujols and Lynn, delightful. Okay, Alex Rodriguez does indeed extend his contract with me. Amazing. Now, all we got to do is start winning some games. Maurice Nick, just hang out. Austin Jackson can take a few reps here and there. Come on, Tampa. We need to go on a run here. We need to win like 4 or 5 in a row if we can. I'm going to change Michael Tonkin to avoid high leverage and just hope that that helps sort things out. And see where the rest of this gets us. Alright. Let us go ahead now and advance to the end of the season. Alright. Tampa, come on. This is very, very winnable. Let's get our shit together and stop getting our asses beat by the Orioles and the Yankees. Welcome back, Beltran. I don't really care right now. I think we're already out of the playoffs, to be honest with you. Yeah. Alright. So we end 83 and 79. What happened? Basically, a lot of truly magical things that happened last season didn't happen this season. We had a pretty good pitching staff and a pretty good lineup, but it wasn't exceptional. Part of the issue was Brad Hopp. Brad Hopp was very disappointing. But let's not lose sight of the fact that Eric Ibar wasn't very good. AJ Przinsky was tolerable. A lot of things that went right last season just didn't go right this year. They didn't. Albert Pujols was the third best player on his own team. That tells you something right there. Jason Hayward was brilliant. Jason Hayward was fantastic in every in every sense of the word. Defensively highly gifted and a very talented hitter. Matt Kemp was about as good as he was last season. He had not quite as many doubles, but overall a great player. Albert Pujols was phenomenal, but he wasn't Albert Pujols. Instead of being one of the best players in the majors, he was merely a very, very good player in the majors. A-Rod had a pretty good season once he got his stuff together. AJ Przinsky was fine. Ibar. Like, a lot of people were fine. Jason Bartlett was terrible. But we didn't have good secondary contributions. And that's unfortunate, but it's what we're faced with. Was Jake Maurice-Nick at least good defensively? He was not bad defensively. Okay. So we've got a lot of room for improvement. I can't believe I paid Ibar as much as I did. I feel so silly. If we can get a better shortstop, or we can trade like Ibar for Call, I think that'll help. Probably Ibar, so I can put A-Rod back at second, where I think he's a little bit more effective, but I also don't mind him being a shortstop. Now, when he came to Tampa, he actually got really cold. This can't be the A-Rod that we just signed to a new contract extension, but we'll see what happens there. What about the pitching? How did the pitching do? Justin Verlander was actually terrible. Kyle Gibson was about replacement level, which is whatever. Like, it's going to take some time to see what he can actually manage before we make any rash judgments. Thank goodness for Justin Masterson. Masterson was one of our better pitchers this year. He's nice and cheap. Bullpen was fine. Yeah. This is genuinely, like, and I'm not going to sugarcoat this was a mediocre team. It was. It was a team that was very meh, because in order for this team to be fantastic, we need MVP player performances from MVP caliber players. And we didn't get that. If I weren't getting AJ Pierzynski basically for free, I would strongly consider getting rid of him. But I think his option is going to vest, unfortunately. We'll see, but I think we're stuck with him. Yeah, Adam Eaton, you can get fucked. You were kind of a waste. I will give you an extension. You're a cool dude. Oh, you're grumpy. You're a really good hitting coach, my guy. So I will give you the offer of a lifetime. You're only a hitting coach. Bruce Bochy could at least potentially be a good defender, maybe. Possibly. Look, I don't want to lose Aurelio Rodriguez, who I think is truly an excellent coach. So I think I'm going to fire Bochy. And then promote Rodriguez. And that should convince him to stay. I guess I'll hire Ron Gant to be our hitting coach in Double A. That seems fine. We'll go to the end of the playoffs. In hindsight, we probably should have anticipated a bit more of a slump than we got. Like, this is where the true rebuild begins, right? Because we're going to get... Okay, Lackey, Kemp, and Beltran. I'm going to go and get out of Beltran's contract. Pierzynski's going to be a free agent. Okay. So we're going to have some decisions to make. We're going to have some decisions to make next season. Oh my. Oh. Ugh. I will happily, I'm not even going to waste time thinking about this. I will happily offer you both qualifying offers. That's one for Matt Kemp, and that's one for John Lackey. And then I'll worry about the rest of this next episode. But Yeah. Now the good news is, I believe we're picking at 21. I mean, we'll get a better player option, but we're still not going to be getting elite players. So interesting. It's interesting. Okay, my friends. That's going to conclude today's episode. Obviously, a huge drop from the previous season, but I think with some dedication, some smart decisions in the off season, some important moves, I think we'll get back on the horse in relatively quick time. But we'll see. Until next time, my friends, this has been Guardian. Thank you for watching, and I bid you good day.